All eyes are about to be on Iowa and New Hampshire, the two states that vote first in the primaries and two of the least diverse states in the whole country. A tradition that's worth saving or one that's run its course.
My children live in Iowa, and I don't think it's represented. I think what happened in this case is we ruled out two people of color right off the bat. How are you?
Thanks for making me feel right at home.
I mean, absolutely. I mean, historically, they have. I think there's no reason to change that.
I think it's a tradition that's gone, it's just old.
I don't think it's how diverse each state is. I think each state should have equal representation, but I agree that no state should be first before others.
99% of when I visited. How about getting up?
Stop it.
No, I think diversity is so important.
So you'd like to see that
Respecting
tradition
diversity.
change?
Yes.
Yeah, I agree actually that it should be abolished. I hadn't really considered that, but yes.
Well, I'm a New Hampshire girl. I'm actually born and raised in New Hampshire.
And we should keep the tradition.
I think so, yes.
Spoken as a proud Granite Stater.
Yes, indeed.
So it's time now for the OTR Sunday Roundtable, and we're joined by Democratic political analyst Marianne Marsh, Republican political analyst Rob Gray. Great to have you with us, guys. Thank you.
So tomorrow is Iowa. We know that polls are very unreliable, especially when it comes to a caucus. But do either of you dare to say who's going to walk out of there still breathing and who is going to be damaged? Let's start with you, Marianne.
I think Elizabeth Warren's going to exceed expectations. She's got the organization, the best one in the state, and that's everything in that in an Iowa caucus. Sanders is a prohibitive favorite, no doubt. The fact that Biden is going into these caucuses trying to cut a deal with everybody, Klobuchar, Yang, and others, is a sign of weakness. But the one who could walk out of there really damaged is Klobuchar. If she doesn't do really, really well, she'll go limping into New Hampshire and no place else.
Any differences from Marianne's predictions there?
Well, I think Marianne's right in that it's a game of musical chairs, and there are only so many chairs as you move forward in the races. I think the headlines coming out are going to be Buttigieg rising and Warren wounded. That's my guess. I'll probably be proven wrong, but I think Biden and Sanders are kind of level, and the lesser candidates become sort of a four-candidate race, plus Bloomberg, which is the wild card, really.
So, Rob, let's pick up on that. Obviously, from Iowa, there'll be the sprint to New Hampshire right after the Iowa caucuses are through tomorrow. So, how is the dynamic different, and what's the political carryover? And let's start with Elizabeth Warren, since you mentioned her.
Well, the problem for Warren is that it could be a comeback or a sinkhole for her. She has the disadvantage of being from the state next door. So I think that she's expected to win it there, either her or Bernie. If she does not win in Iowa, I think she must win New Hampshire or she's wounded. Despite all these memos about we have a great operation in Michigan, I think she's done if she doesn't win one of those first two states.
I think New Hampshire plays one of two roles. It either puts rocket fuel on somebody who comes out of Iowa, and then they run the table if it's the same person each time. Or they can pump the brakes on that candidate like they did with Barack Obama. If Warren exceeds expectations in Iowa, I think she's got the rocket fuel going into New Hampshire. It'll be a rematch. I mean, really, Iowa is a fight between Sanders and Warren, and I think New Hampshire, especially when you're up there, it's the same thing. I think that's what you're going to see. I don't expect Biden, Buttigieg, or anyone else to do much of anything up there.
Let's move on to Ed Markey. He is emphasizing his endorsements in his attempt to win his seat again. Joe Kennedy is talking more about his town halls. Two this past week were held in Spanish, and they were in Markey's part of the state, Lawrence and East Boston. What's the more effective strategy, do you think, Rob?
Well, it's Kennedy so far. I think that really Markey's playing into what this race really is old school against next generation. By putting out endorsements and the like, instead of doing something different like Kennedy is, he's just telling people he's old school.
Marianne?
Yeah, I mean, retail politics and grassroots organizing is everything in politics today, especially in Massachusetts, so advantage Kennedy. But I think the real story in that race this week is the emergence of a super PAC by a longtime Markey supporter and former aide to help Markey fund his campaign. He's having trouble raising money. And Markey hasn't signed the People's Pledge. And to me, that's going to spot for Markey, all of Markey's progressive supporters. He's putting them in a very tough spot by not supporting the People's Pledge and now having a super PAC on the outside trying to help him. That's the big big development in that race.
And speaking of Congressman Kennedy, you heard Jessie Mermel sitting in that very chair this morning. She is running for the congressional seat that Mr. Kennedy holds right now. Anything she said this morning stands out?
Well, I think Jessie's the only one running a real campaign and hitting on all cylinders. She's got all the parts and pieces. It's something she clearly planned for. She's not out raising folks. Other people have raised more money than she has, but she's competitive. So she's put all the pieces together. That is a decided advantage in the beginning, especially when you're out there meeting the right people, lining up the right support, and building a grassroots organization.
And also she talked, I mean, she's from the northern part of the district, but she talked a lot about the southern part of the district.
Spends a lot of time down there.
Exactly, which is what she was emphasizing in a lot of her answers.
And it's an interesting race because nobody really has a geographic hold on any part of that district. There's no mayor, no state senator running. Most of the candidates, if they hold elective office, they're sort of tiny sliver elective offices. So she has good candidate skills. I give her a good chance, as good a chance as anybody to win that race.
We continue on the record. Stay with us.